Looking to improve your fitness business while keeping your bottom line in good shape? Let the Gym Administrator help you achieve those goals. With their powerful team of fitness industry professionals at the ready, the Gym Administrator covers a wide range of industry-related products and services that will help you build your business and increase profits. The Gym Administrator works with reliable industry suppliers and vendors that place a heavy emphasis on service, just the way you remember it. Give them a call at 914-494-1066 or visit them on the web at thegymadministrator.com as well as all social media platforms. The Gym Administrator, all your fitness needs under one roof. Scan the barcode at the bottom of the screen to get started today.
You're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs here on ESPN Northwest Florida, and it is my pleasure, as always, to bring in the men, the myths, the legends themselves, Monte and the Pharaoh. Jimmy, Mike, how we doing today?
Good. What up? What up, Mike? Where is he?
Oh,
is he there? Uh-oh.
He's John Cena. We can't see him or hear him.
Something got unplugged.
Well, we'll see if
maybe it was Mike.
Can you hear me now?
Hey, there he is. What's up, buddy?
What up?
How you doing?
Hey, guys. How are you? Good to see you. Good to hear from you.
And I feel like I have to lead with this. I have to deal. So I have Monte.
Yeah.
And I have the newly hitched Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we merged pyramids and everything. Yep. Got married this weekend, and you showed up.
I did. I was able to make it.
Which was surprising,
That's
but
right.
Mike, the dedicated man that he is to Monte and the Pharaoh, was interviewing, Stan Hansen and Tony Gurria, so he had...
Oh, my goodness.
He had duties in New York to perform, but I wish he had been out here, but, he was with me in spirit, so it was...
Absolutely right.
My lovely bride, Karen McDaniel. So.
And you got... The ceremony was done in time to watch the pay-per-view. No, I'm kidding. Well, let's get into that.
Perfectly planned.
There you go.
Oh, boy.
I do want to get into this. So, guys, WWE Backlash. Now, something I found interesting last year. I remember coming out of WrestleMania, of course, I was happy Roman retained. A lot of people were not. I know Mike and I certainly share that
I was
sentiment.
happy, too. Made three of us.
But there was definitely a little air out of the balloon, as you would expect coming out of WrestleMania. So that's always going to be a tough pay-per-view. I don't believe they set it up by design to go to the hottest crowd of the year in Puerto Rico, but I do think they learned from it.
They did.
And I think this is going to become a staple going forward. So, guys, here's my first question to you. I want to talk about the crowd in general because it was a very hot crowd in Lyon, France.
France, right.
And do you think this is something WWE now realizes for Backlash, we need to make sure and do something like this in an area that doesn't typically get, as they call them now, premium live events?
While it's possible that they did learn from last year, I'm thinking to myself, how many countries can you do this in? That's the first thing I'm thinking about. Like, what is it next year? Lithuania? You know what I mean? But, it obviously factored in. That crowd was ballistic.
It was unbelievable.
It was ballistic. Mike, what do you think about that with the selection of a international rabid fan base after WrestleMania?
I think for the first time, I saw wrestlers not knowing what to do with such a hot crowd. I was thinking to myself back at the old days, Zbyszko, San Martino, how they would have handled it. Clearly, the women's match, they were shaken.
Yeah.
That crowd shook. The only ones that looked like they could handle it was Cody and AJ, tenured veterans. The other ones looked like they were struggling.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree. The only other person I might throw in, Bayley seemed to be somewhat comfortable in her setting. Like, she might have been the only one who understood what they were chanting after the 2 count every time, and she had a little fun interacting with it. But I think that's an excellent point. So that leads me into where I was going next. I'm curious as y'all's thoughts. We all love a hot crowd. It can make an event. But there was a lot of scripted stuff by the crowd this time. And let me ask, I'm just curious to y'all's thoughts. Was it maybe a little too much and maybe detracted at times?
Of course it was too much, but it was still pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's how I looked at it. I mean, there were some times, like, for example, where it really became too much was the main event, where they're in the middle of a really good match, and they're more concerned with chants and
Yeah.
stuff, and I almost got a little mad for the performers, but then I thought about it and I'm like, you know what, this has been going on all night. It's not like they suddenly broke out a let's chant for the sake of chanting. These guys were screaming from the very beginning of the show. I wondered if they'd burn out by the time that Cody and AJ got on, but to their credit, they didn't. Mike?
You know what? I thought they matched that Puerto Rican crowd. You can't have bad matches when a crowd is like that, even though there were missed spots and everything else. I thought it was fantastic. When fans are that jacked up for matches, it's hard to say anything was bad.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, guys, you're listening to Monte and the Pharaoh joining us here on the Afternoon Underdogs. You need to check them out on Cablevision, YouTube, Facebook, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Central. Absolutely love these guys and very, very knowledgeable. And big guests, like you just said, Stan Hansen was in this past Thursday. Who do we have coming up here on the horizon,
Who's
guys?
coming up, Mike? You're the schedule maker.
Sid Vicious, Tully Blanchard.
Wow.
Sergeant Slaughter. I forget.
There's more.
Oh, Eric Bischoff.
Oh.
By the way, he's back. Nice.
Well, outstanding. All right, well, let's talk about that. You said you can't really run a bad match. I tend to agree with that. I enjoyed all 5 matches on the card, which going into it again, I wasn't real sure on all of them.
Good
but,
card.
Instead of necessarily going match by match, I'm kind of curious to what you guys both thought was a match that maybe stood out in your mind. It could have been one you were expecting, but just one that stood out in your mind for a good reason, and one that maybe, had it not been for the crowd, might have dragged a little bit.
Well, the one that stood out is what got the ball rolling was the Owens and Randy versus the Bloodline, and then I'll always call him Magnus, but of course Aldis came out and turned it into, in French, a street fight, and it dictated the way the whole night was going to go. The crowd was ballistic, and by the way, those are wrestlers that knew what to do. I'm sure Mike would agree. Like KO and Randy just embraced it.
Just quickly, Aldis coming out, it was the verbal equivalent of tossing a steak into a tiger cage.
Right.
It was perfect.
Yeah. They were foaming at the mouth. I thought that was fantastic. I thought it was interesting. Good point about how it did rattle some. There was a goof up during the Jade Cargill and Bianca match with the Kabuki Warriors. There was definitely a cover that was something made no sense, and then there was a tag, and she was supposed to already be legal in the ring, Asuka, and that was a bit messy, but they overcame it, and the finish was enough to.
Oh, wow!
The finish of that match was, I don't really think anything really flatlined. I feel like all the matches did pretty well, and my favorite was the first one, but. The mark of a good card. There's nowhere to go but downhill from here. There was no downhill. It was just a good card on a good night in a rabidly hot city in Lyon. Mike, what do you think?
Jimmy, you hit everything on the head. The one thing I would say in that freeway with Bayley and the great Tiffany Stratton, Naomi had to take a powder.
Right.
The three of them working together could not work with that crowd. They were all shaking. She had to go take a powder.
Right.
I got to tell you, Tiffany Stratton, she's just unbelievable. Bianca Belair. The women, they said in the press conference, it's no longer just they're the real deal.
Yeah.
But Jimmy, WWE does a really good job of starting off their live events with that hot match. And I don't know who books it like that, but they always make the right choice.
Oh, it was excellent. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Well, let's talk about that first match, because I agree. It was one that stood out to me. I thought the Stratton and Bayley and Naomi match, to me, was the one that maybe was a little better than I thought it would be. If anything, just being in the middle, there might have been a bit of a lull in the Damian match.
Right.
But I think it was more situational than anything they did.
I agree with
think
that.
it was
Placement.
fine.
Yeah.
But let's get back to the opener. So from a storyline perspective, I think we're all interested to see what the current Bloodline story is going to be. We all think we know where it's going to end up.
We know nothing.
But the way they're going to get there is the part that's interesting.
Right.
So I think, we bring back Tama Tonga back right after WrestleMania.
Which was great.
And I think everyone expected Jacob Fatu.
Right.
But that's not what we got, Jimmy.
We got, can I say this?
I think so.
We got God.
We did.
We got the Gorillas of
Destiny.
Oh, my God. And I don't know what made me not think. Didn't it seem obvious the second you saw him?
That's always the best story when you go, how did I not see this coming?
How did I not see that?
That's right.
And it's great that they're together. They are a couple of killer bees. Of
course, talking about Tongaloa.
Tongaloa.
Brother of Tama Tonga and another son of Haku.
Another son of Haku. He doesn't look nearly as mean as Tama, though.
No.
Did you notice that? Mike, what's up with that? The guy almost looks like he could be serving you your fast food at Jack's.
Man, I got to tell you what the future brings is unbelievable. But real quick question to you guys. Did not see Damian Priest surviving. Where are they going now?
I don't know.
With the Uso, man. I mean, it's over now. He's lost every title match he's had.
Yeah.
What are we doing there?
Hopefully we take Yeet and we put it in a box and we mail it away.
I see them having to put that tag team back together. I think they have to.
I don't think the program's over. I think that we're not done with this with Jay.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't know why, but I just get this feeling that this can't be over for him.
As much as we talked about, I didn't love that match.
Right.
How cool was the intro?
Oh, it was great.
I mean, and part of that's the France crowd, but look.
But he gets that.
Whether we like Yeet or not, it's over.
Yeah, it's way over.
It is definitely over.
It doesn't matter
with
if we
fans,
like it or not. It's way over.
Yeah, no, it was definitely interesting. I'll tell you another thing. I was curious, Mike, I was thinking of you when I heard this because, we're all obviously big fans of what Roman Reigns has meant to the company for the last bit. And there was a lot of talk that people were getting tired of Roman barely showing up.
We want Roman.
Exactly. That's where I was going. I heard that, and I was like, if I had Mike's number, I'd call him right now. We want Roman chants.
How great was that?
It was fantastic.
See, Mike, he can come back as a returning hero. How you like them apples? What do you think about that?
I will say this, considering what they do with the bloodline, I'm okay with it now, but the Cody Rhodes experiment, it's almost over. It's almost over this quickly. Cody, just give it back to Roman. We need him back.
I'll be honest with you. Originally, I'm curious y'all's thoughts on this because I just had this thought coming out of the pay-per-view. So the We Want Roman. Obviously, everyone's thought is Roman comes back. He's this conquering face. He takes out The Rock. He saves Cody, this, that, or the other. Okay, fine. Instant heel turn. I think it would be phenomenal if they brought him back in, did all the stuff everyone, quote, expects, and then turned him instantly that night. I think it would just be nuclear heat, and I think he's so perfect in that role.
I think it would work.
Yeah.
I think it would. You seize the moment.
I agree 100%. Roman is a heel. He is not a face.
That's right.
You got it right on the head, Coach.
Yep.
I'm curious to one more thing, and I don't really know how I feel about this yet, and I have a feeling you guys are going to be very similar. So we're getting the teases. It's starting to come out. They are definitely doing a Wyatt 6 inspired group. Obviously in memory of Bray Wyatt, but we're thinking Bo Dallas and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and they've re-signed Eric Rowan, it looks like.
Okay.
Joe Gacy supposedly is moving up.
Strowman is here. Is Strowman included?
And they say the 6th is going to be a returning Dexter Lumis. Now, whether or not this is true or not, I don't know. He would fit this group well.
He would.
But my thought is, it's a little spooky. It's a little weird. Are we... It may be as early as King of the Ring. Are we cautiously optimistic? Are we worried? What do we expect out of this?
I'm not sure I'm even optimistic. The sequels are never as good as the original.
Sure.
And you can't have the original back. And the original was so unique. It's almost like Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker. How do you ever duplicate that
It's
again?
an excellent comparison.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. I'm very weary about it. And I love Bo Dallas. I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
But can Bo pull off even remotely what Bray did? I'm very, very weary about the whole thing. Mike?
Jimmy, you said it all. That ship has sailed.
Yeah.
It'll be fine for the first appearance, and then eventually, not to talk ill of the dead, but just like a Bray Wyatt match, it just doesn't live up to the expectations.
I feel like they could jump the shark badly if they botch it.
Yeah, I wish I could disagree with either of you. I don't think I can. I'm interested, but almost in the way you have to look at a car crash. I don't know what I'm interested in seeing.
Right.
but I am going to watch it.
Right.
And I am curious, and I'm like you. I really hope there's something for Bo Dallas because I thought he was criminally underused for his talent.
And who's the bona fide, look, whether we're a fan of Bray or not, who's the bona fide main event guy that you know is world championship material and stuff? Who's in that group that's going to do that for you?
Yeah.
This could be a jumping of the shark. We'll see what happens. That's all we can do.
That's true. About 45 seconds, Mike. Any final thoughts on Backlash or where we're going from here?
I think if you're a wrestling fan, it's all towards the future. Some great stuff. They still have me interested, but bring Roman back. We miss him. It's getting too late.
That's a great way to end it. We want Roman. I don't know how to say that in French, but we're going to just do it like
that. Yeah.